Deep down inside, there's probably nobody who loves radio more than Gog. Actually, I think he was working maybe at a Radio Shack. I'm not sure. I think the story was that he was, and then he met Jack Heyer, who at that time was thinking about putting a radio station on the air, and who better to do it than Gunther Meisse, who I think at that time was 18 or 19 years old, so he started very young.
His first interest from radio came when he was a child living with a single mom. He grew up almost as an only child because his sister was quite a bit older and had already gone away to college. His companion was radio.
He is kind of ahead of his time a little bit, I think, in the way he did things in the electronic media. He's unique in that he's got some vision that I think have led to his success, has helped to lead to his success. You know, he saw things sometimes before they certainly happened in this part of the state, if not the Midwest.
I remember that he always wanted to have a TV station. He had the radio, and he started the low-power TV station.
And he saw the opportunity to acquire the license that had formerly been WCOM-TV, and saw the vision of how to do some things with it to make it a local television station.
Next thing we know, we have a local television station owned by a local member of the community broadcasting local news, and it was an exciting time.
Local television has been around a long, long time, but you have to do things a little bit differently when you're in a Mansfield or a Lima or a Springfield or a Zanesville. And I think that he built a pretty good model, and so he's a guy that has a unique outlook, and, as I say, visionary, and is able to take things and adapt them to the environment.
Gog loves to be the first at anything he does in the way of technology.
He went digital well before the mandate was that you will become digital in the TV media. He understands that whole industry technically and also politically.
He's been very active with national boards, 30, 40 years as far as I know, and I mean continually active. So he's seen so many changes and has been able to take what he's seen in other parts of the country, incorporate it in what he's been trying to do at VNO, and then of course he put WRGM on the air.
It was important for him to help other people, and it still is to this day. As a child, someone gave him a chance, and he would like to give that chance to somebody else.
He's helped quite a few young people, including Robin Meade, get her start in radio communication, TV, and now she's the head of CNN, has her own show in the AM every morning.
There are other people who have worked for him as an intern and now work at CNN, NBC, and other places.
Gog saw that the more talent you had, it probably would generate the desire for those youngsters that were coming along to work at a place like that, because they knew that if they did it well, they were going to be at a place that was doing it right and might have that chance to move on to the bigger and better job.
I would say he's a man of integrity, and he's a strong family man also.
You know, it's a family business. I mean, his two sons are involved in it.
Yes, he's pleased to have his son working with him at the station. Rob has all the new ideas, whereas Gog has had so much experience over the years that the combination of the two working together is a good thing.
He and Gene make a great couple. Gene is very understanding and really goes along with all of Gog's idiosyncrasies, and in return, Gog is very patient with Jean. So they make a good couple.
When they married, he had 4 children that he brought to the marriage, and she had 2. And to raise 6 children and run 2 radio stations and a TV station, that says quite a bit.
Gog and Jeannie tried the half year in Florida route. They bought a condo in Naples and spent half of the year there. And it became pretty obvious that they just weren't happy. So they sold the condo and moved back to Mansfield. And I think that says what kind of individuals they are and how much they love and care for this community.
He's a great ambassador for Mansfield. Whenever I'm with him, he's always very strong on Mansfield.
He cares about Mansfield, Ohio, deeply, and he really is passionate about trying to get Mansfield back on track.
Over the last couple of months, a number of us have been trying to address the community needs and a community initiative, and Gog has been a real catalyst in that endeavor. There isn't anyone with any more passion for our community, anyone that puts more of their time, their effort, and their money behind it.
The rehab telethon would be the best example, and that over the years they've raised hundreds of thousands of dollars and through the TV station and broadcasting and all.
You know, there's a good example of a guy who is put his vocation toward the betterment of the community. Gog is a leader. He has ideas, he has visions, and he knows how to take and make those things happen.
If he's working on a project or trying to get something fixed, he works and works and works immediately and doesn't let up until it is completed and successful.
He's passionate about everything he gets involved in, and he really dwells deep into whatever subject that is.
I think most people would see Gog as a fairly quiet individual, but if you really get to know him, he lets you know what he thinks, and he's not afraid to use an expletive here and there, quite often sometimes.
When you see Gog, that's Gog. I mean, he's certainly comes across as who he truly is. He doesn't hide anything.
If you ask him a question, you're going to get an answer, and you're going to get sometimes a very colorful answer, because that's, you know, he is just a guy that will let you know exactly where he stands, and I've always liked that in people, those that aren't wishy-washy, and he certainly is not that.
My motto for Gog would be ready, fire, aim. I mean, that's the kind of guy he is. I mean, once he decides to go, off he goes, and then he thinks about it after he got there.
He's effective. He's persistent. He's a hard worker. And he's compassionate and loving. He's a great guy.
I consider Gog a friend, a landlord in the past, and a mentor. He really influenced my life as we went along.
He's always impressed me as a wonderful individual, and he's a very kind and fine man.
I just think I think that Gog will be flattered that he was nominated and receives this honor, but he'll think that there's probably many more deserving people than he. I mean, that would probably be part of his speech, but that's the kind of guy he is. He's not out front. He loves to work behind the scenes, and so he can swear at somebody without having to be politically incorrect.